Today we're taking a look at the Be Quiet Power Zone 2 750 watt power supply. Thanks to Be Quiet for sending this one over for us to take a look at. The Power Zone 2 PSU line is designed for efficiency and utility for use in gaming PCs. These PSUs feature a semi-passive thermal management design, which allows the PSU to remain relatively silent while operating quite efficiently. When the PSU does need active cooling, the fan will spin up, and you have a 140mm Pure Wings 3 fan that's actually built into the power supply. The entire Power Zone 2 series of PSUs is rated for platinum power efficiency, reaching as high as 94.2% at peak efficiency. This PSU, interestingly enough, not only comes with a 12-volt 2x6 12VH power connector, but one end of that power cable has a right angle power connector built into it. That's kind of neat, and that might help with installation and cable routing for your GPU. This power supply is providing the bulk of its power across just one main 12-volt rail, so there's no need to power balance or make sure you read the manual and figure out where to plug in your power cables. On top of that, Be Quiet says this power supply should be able to handle transient power spikes very well because it is technically rated for double the PSU output for these transient spikes. It's not that long ago people were freaking out about transient spikes, pretty much specifically from graphics cards, so this is definitely nice to see. In terms of the design and spec for this power supply, it's quite solid. The Power Zone 2 PSUs currently are offered in 750 watt versions, like what I have here today, an 850 watt version, and a 1000 watt version. As for the warranty on this series, Be Quiet is offering 10 years worth of warranty support, which is excellent coverage in my opinion, definitely a power supply that they'll stand behind. In terms of the size of this PSU, we're looking at about 160 millimeters in terms of length, 150 millimeters wide, and it's about 86 millimeters tall. Given the sizing of this PSU, the Power Zone 2 series of power supplies should fit in pretty much most of the common gaming PC cases that you'll encounter, but it's always worth double checking. I wanted to measure the PSU noise, but I really couldn't because the PSU installed inside of the test case that I picked, or probably any case, is essentially quieter than the entire rest of the computer. At 0% to 50% load on the power supply, or 0 watts to about 375 watts, the sound output is really just about 6.5 dBA. That's insanely quiet. It's definitely going to be quieter than any of your system fans, even if you only have one system fan. As you start to load up the system though, the fan will kick in about 60, 70, 80, and 90%. The sound output is rated for 10 dBA, 11 dBA, about 12 dBA, and then 13 dBA. At 100% or maximum load, where the PSU is cranking out 750 watts, the maximum sound output is about 15.8 dBA. That's super unrealistic, and most people are not going to be able to get a PSU to actually output 750 watts. You'd really need a very high-end system for that. So there's basically no scenario where the power supply is going to put out any real amount of noise that your system isn't going to drown out anyways. That's very nice, and definitely what I would expect from Be Quiet. To recap the cable options that I showed before, we're getting the 600mm main 24-pin harness cable. We're getting one 700mm long 12-volt 4-pin x2 cable for your CPU, as well as one 700mm long 12-volt P8 cable, again for your CPU. As for the graphics or PCI Express power cable options, we're getting one 6+2 pin PCI Express cable. We're also getting one dual 6+2 pin PCI Express cable. And of course, we have that one PCI Express 5.1 12-volt 2x6 12VH power cable with the right angle adapter built into it. All three of these PCI Express cables being about 600mm long. For the accessory power cables, we have one 850mm long SATA and Molex mixed cable. We also have a 1 meter long quad SATA connector strand, super useful if you're loading out your PC with SATA drives. For a 750 watt power supply, I think these cabling options are excellent. They look decent in my opinion, and the sheathing and the connectors are all good quality. I did try to listen closely to the power supply area on the case when the system was under load. I really couldn't hear any type of coil line or anything like that, even under different power loads, so I thought that was definitely something worth mentioning, as I know it's come up before. So to sum it up, I think if you're looking for a solid PSU, For a new build, or maybe you need an upgrade or your old PSU just died, the PowerZone 2 series of PSUs is definitely going to be a solid choice. 750 watts is a good selection for a gaming PC, and that PCI Express 5.1 12VH power cable included is definitely going to serve you well in the future. If you're interested in learning more about this power supply, or you want to purchase one for your system, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below, so definitely head down there and check that out. If you got any value out of this one, I'd super appreciate it if you could smash that like button, as that tells YouTube to share this video with gamers who are researching PSU options. If you're into gaming PC and component videos like this one, there's quite a bit of content on the channel already for PC builds and components. Consider getting subscribed to the channel and ringing that bell for notifications. Until next time, keep on gaming.